Hi everybody, Rachel here from Rachthestamper.com. Sorry I've been absent for a little while. Life is getting in the way. I have back to school happening and a lot of stuff going on, so I am sorry that I haven't posted. I was kind of going hot and heavy there for a while, and then I ran out of time. So anyway, I thought I would share this fun Halloween card with you. It's kind of like a cutaway card. And actually I did a new stamp club with some new ladies last week. And for an idea for the next card, they wanted to make this. This I made a while back, but I thought this was a really pretty card when I made it, and this was using the Designer Series paper stacks. So I was just kind of playing around with stuff, and I thought, well, I haven't made a lot of Halloween stuff, so it would be really fun to make a Halloween version of this card. So this is the one I came up with. And what we're going to do today is we're going to switch it up a little bit and use garden green. But I did this one pumpkin pie, and oh, don't mind that doodle there. You can sponge the edges of it like I did. You can even do this part as if you want, but I just did the front parts. And this is using a little bit of a combo. So this is, I used the Boo from Creep It Real, and this is available in the 2017 holiday catalog. And then I used some other sentiments and such from Spooky Cat, which also is available in the holiday catalog. This also has a coordinating cat punch that goes with it. And you could use the punch and then just use the little face. And I just want to show you. Did I save them? I had, of course, I've misplaced them since then. But oh, here they are. I had a couple cats. I was trying to decide what I wanted to do with them. So I did just a black cat. And then I came up with the brilliant idea of embossing the cat, which did turn out well. However, I didn't wait for the black to dry before I embossed it, because I thought it would be neat if you did it in black. And then you embossed his eyes in silver embossing powder, but I didn't wait long enough, so I had to move on anyway. But I did do one where the entire cat was embossed, which is that. So that looks really cool, but I think he looks a little too grumpy. So then I stamped him with black archival ink for the face part. But if you're looking for something to do and maybe you've run out of ideas, with minus the grumpy face, but this could just be another version of Grumpy Cat. But the silver embossing powder looks really cool. It was kind of like an accident that the whole thing embossed. So there's some more ideas for you. And we're going to do, like I said, this was pumpkin pie. So we're going to do garden green. And then maybe we'll do the hat or the owl. But we'll see what we're going to do as we go along. So let's get started. This is, as I said, a fairly easy card to use. To create, I should say. So you're going to need 2 pieces of Whisper White that measure 4 by 5 1/4. I should say one is going to be a little smaller than that, 4 by 5 1/4, because you'll need one for the inside. This one's a little bit bigger. But then you're going to need another piece to layer on top of these. So it's kind of easier if you just have a second sheet, and then we'll trim it down. So I'll explain that to you as we go along. So what we're going to do to get started is we're going to grab our trimmer. So you're going to use a half a sheet of cardstock for this. This is 11 by 4 1/4. And what you're going to do is you can go ahead and do your score line at 5 1/2. And is this not 11? Maybe this isn't. Maybe I had a full piece. Nope, that's right. It didn't look big enough. And somehow I've misplaced my bone folder. I have no idea where it is, but hopefully I'll find it. So you're going to score it 5 1/2. And then what we're going to do is we're going to trim. So essentially this is just this card piece flipped sideways. So it's very easy. It's like a kind of an all-in-one card. And you can do this a couple different ways, just depending on the way that you prefer to do it. Sorry, I have stuff everywhere, falling all over the place. But we're going to cut at 1 1/2. So you're going to cut 1 1/2 off of the bottom, okay? And then we're going to cut at 2. Okay, and that's it. It's just that simple. So this is going to be the top of your card. This is going to be the bottom. And then this is going to be a piece that holds it together. So now we're just going to trim some white to go on top of that. So I'm going to trim up my second piece real quick while I'm here. So again, you want this 4 by 5 1/4 to layer inside. So this will be our inside panel. And then what we're going to do again, so we're going to have this at 4, which is what we want. And so we have 1 1/2 was our other piece. So we're going to do 1 3/8, and then 1 7/8 twice, because the other one measures identically. So 1 7/8. Yeah, 1 7/8. It's really just a hair off of there. Okay, and that is pretty much it. So let me just move this out of the way. And I'll show you what we're going to do. So now the only thing that needs to be important is you need to remember, because I accidentally stuck this to this, and then it would have been sideways rats, and this sideways cat would have made no sense whatsoever. So just be mindful of how you're stamping your pieces. You're going to want to stamp one crossways and then a skinny one crossways, and then one lengthwise as well. So what we will do is move this over for just a second. So we have one lengthwise, one crossways, one crossways, and we'll kind of just, maybe we'll do this one like I did with this box with the background stamp, kind of like create your own DSP. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pull out all these little faces, and then we'll do the inside. We'll do trick or treat, and then we'll do something different on the front. So what we'll do is we're going to just stamp these in black, kind of just randomly. I'm going to keep that on the side because I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the top piece yet. So we're just going to stamp these randomly. If I get enough chance tomorrow morning before I post this, I will fast forward this part, but and I'm doing all of them in archival black. If you don't have a copy of the holiday catalog yet and you'd like one, all you have to do is send me your full mailing address to rachthestamper@gmail.com, and I will get one right out to you. Let's see if we can fit a witch in there. I think there's always room for at least one witch, right? Okay, so we'll leave that alone. And that will do, just clean this off so I don't muck it up. One thing I will tell you is be really careful when you're using the black, because it's super easy to smudge your cards. I did that quite frequently. All right, so I'm going to just go ahead and color these guys in. That might be a little dark. I might use, you might want to use Old Olive instead. That might be a little better of an idea for Frankie, or it actually might be better for Old Olive for the witch. Or Old Olive and Pear Pizzazz, because they both are a little bit dark. But you can switch around, whatever you'd like to use. Let's try Pear Pizzazz for the other witch face. Yeah, that's better. You can still see her face a little bit. And these are fairly easy to color in. You don't really have to be terrifically in the line. So this is Wild Wasabi. I'm going to do the other Frankie in Wild Wasabi. And you can do them whatever colors you like. When you do these and they're hanging off the edge, they actually make them super easy to fill in. So that's pretty easy to color this quickly. Oh, forgot one. Okay, and then we'll just use, you can use pumpkin pie or Tangelo. Is it Tangelo Twist? Tangerine Tango. I don't know why I've got Tangelo Twist in my mind. I think that retired a couple years ago. And you do want to make sure that you give your archival a little bit to dry, or else it will still sort of smudge. So these aren't really 100% drying. So if you notice it's a little bit darker, that's kind of why. But when you have these brush tip markers, it actually makes it super easy to fill in the things that you're coloring in really quickly, just with a few quick swipes. Okay, and last but not least, so what I did with the skulls is I just used a little bit of gray or smoky slate, and you can actually do this too with the blender pen. It'll be a little bit lighter. What I kind of filled them in is almost like a little question mark, but I just filled them in just for a little shadowing. And while we're at it, I'm going to use just a teeny bit of Wisteria Wonder just to give a little purple interest to her hat. Kind of almost looks like a gray purple, so. And this is a great project too, because you can get 2 in 1. So again, I think I ended up using Pear Pizzazz for the witch's face and then Wild Wasabi for Frankie. So with the smoky slate, if you wanted to, you can take your blender pen I just want to show you this quickly. So you can take your blender pen. Oh, that's white. Never mind, I don't want to use that one. Use your blender pen and you can kind of blend the gray out a little bit, or instead of using the direct pen, you could go ahead and just bring a little bit of it off the tip and kind of shade it around. It'll make it a lot lighter. Kind of give your skull a little bit more depth. Or the other thing you could do as well, how did I end up with the white pen again? I have to keep those on the side. The other thing you could do is you could use your smoky slate ink pad and then dip your blender pen. That'll definitely give you a lighter color. Okay, so let's move this over and decide what are we going to do for this. So how about if we'll do the trick or treat on our sentiment on the inside, and how about if we just do the witch's hat? I don't think I've even used this yet because this is pretty cool. And let's see. Now, one thing is you got to see if it's going to fit. So it is going to be tight, but it's going to fit. So we're going to put this, and we will do it with the archival black. So again, just be careful with your smudgies. And I am stamping on a stack of grid paper, so it is going to give me a little bit of a cushion. And just give that a nice press and give it a second for the ink to transfer. And just be careful when you lift. Now, if it's not as dark, if you want it a little darker, you can always go back in and fill it in with your black Stampin' Up marker. Okay, and let's see. She kind of looks like she's just floating in the air there, which witches do kind of tend to do that. So we're going to just put a little bit of gray. So we're going to add a little bit of smoky slate underneath. The other thing you could do if you wanted to, instead of this, is you could take your so we'll put that like it's on the ground, and then what we'll do is this. So we will take our blender pen. Let me find one that doesn't have white on it. And we'll kind of give her a little bit of a, let me give this a squeeze, a little shadow. So it kind of looks like it's floating. Like it's lit from the back. There you go. Okay, and then you can always take your pumpkin pie or green or whatever it is, but I tend to think witches like purple. So I'm going to take my Wisteria Wonder and fill in her buckle on her hat. You could also use gold if you wanted to. And let's see, what else? A little something. I'm still going to put this little, I don't know if that'll fit, Happy Halloween. I'm going to put this on the top. And I'm going to put this in Elegant Eggplant, just again for that Halloween purpley. You could do this too if you wanted to in pumpkin pie. You could do half of it with your marker and then half with the other marker to kind of give that blended color look. That is so dark it looks black, but that's what I did here. So I just used the 3 markers and filled them in over top of each other to give that graded look. I think that's really fun. Okay, so now we're going to be finished with that because I don't want to overdo it. And then the only other thing we're going to add in is our other sentiment, which I think I said I wanted to do. Here it is, Trick or Treat. Now this isn't going to fit under in this opening part. You can see it's too big. So what we'll do is we'll put it under here, and then we'll just put something fun over there. So how about a rat? That's always interesting, at least for Halloween anyway. Not the rest of the time. Okay, so let me bring this back over. And what we're going to do is we're going to get out our sponge. I'm going to keep him on the side, and I'm going to sponge everything again, just to give it that like yucky, dirty Halloween feel. And again, just at this point, be careful so you don't smudge up the main image of your card. I've already smudged it, but that's okay. It's supposed to be yucky and dingy Halloween-y anyway. If I don't tell anybody, they'll think I did it on purpose. But black can be very hard to work with. Believe me, I know that. Alright, and we're just going to sponge the edges. But this would be really easy. You could really get a lot of these done if you're doing them for like your child's Halloween or Halloween party. Halloween something maybe at school. I'm going to open this flap up to do this one this way. And again, if you want to, you can go all the way around. You could do the whole side, but I'm going to just stick to this part here. Okay, let me move that out of the way for a second. We are going to need that one more time, but what we're going to do now is we're going to adhere these pieces. So again, remember, this one's going to go here. This is going to go here, and this is going to go here. So we're going to just use some fast fuse. I know a lot of people have a love-hate relationship with fast fuse. I kind of felt that way myself for a very long time until I got the hang of it. But it holds projects together so much better, in my opinion, than the snail. So after I think I wasted an entire roll, I mastered it. But it was a lesson learned. Oh my gosh, look like I've been working at a fingerprint company. That looks really cool. Other thing you could do if you wanted to, for this one, I wrapped a little bit of that crochet trim around it. You could do that. You could do the black metallic thread. We're going to put a little bit of that around it. Why not? And I want to put it a different direction for a change. So I just have this just to hold it. And instead of going around this way, like that, I'm going to go up and down. So see what that looks. Kind of looks like spider webs, which is kind of cool because it matches the hat. All right, let me just give that a trim. Okay, and then let me wind this up. If you don't wind this up, this ends up turning into a spider web. Is that my tape? Oh goodness. I'm sorry, just bear with me 1 second. I know if I don't do this, I'll never find it. Okay, so what I did with this is I put it up on dimensionals. So, grab my dimensionals, and I just put 4 on. 4 is enough. So 2 on the bottom, because remember, this is going to have a gap in the middle. So, even though you have this little adhered piece, it really shouldn't bother your card too much. And if you are concerned with it being sticky, you could put another little layer of cardstock over top, or you could just skip this part altogether. Okay, so the easiest way to do this is you're going to fold your top down. You're going to put your bottom in place where it would be, and then you just pick this up. Make sure you have it facing the right direction, and just set it down. I like this one better than the first one. I think because green. Perfect. So easy. So the only other thing we have to do now is, let me see if I can wipe my fingers off a little bit, is to put our sentiment on the inside of our card. Okay. So what I wanted to do was, I wanted to do this, what the heck did I do with it? Trick or treat piece. Here it is. Trick or treat. But this is kind of big. So it will fit under this. So I'm probably going to put it over here. And then what I think I'll do is just put like some candies, because this one does have some candy corns. So we'll put some candy corns over here. And these you can use your little tiny block. And what I usually do when I do these is I'll just kind of line them up and stamp them all over the place. So I'm going to use the pumpkin pie. Even though I know these are multicolored, but pumpkin pie. We'll rotate them around a couple spots. And while we're at it, we'll just add a little rat. It's funny. I think this is the only time you'll hear someone say, let's just add a little rat. Alright, so this is lined up just like you want it to be. So just try, it's not adhered in there yet, and we're just gonna stamp our rat. Perfect. So cute. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna do our trick or treat. We're gonna ink that up, and that's gonna go underneath of here. Just like that. Very cute. And then I'm gonna go ahead and color this in. Is almost so dark purple. It's black. Okay, so all we have to do now is just adhere our card sentiment in. And what I usually do, just one more time to make sure I like it where it is I'll just close this so that's sticking out just a teeny bit. Let me just, no, let go. Okay. I'm just going to very lightly set this down before I press it and make sure I like where it's covered. Yeah, so only that teeny piece is sticking out. So there you go. So once again, hopefully I can find my bone folder so my cards will be straight. But there are two really great ideas, super simple, one with garden green and one with pumpkin pie. And again, featuring Creep It Real, bleh, tongue twister, and Spooky Cat. So I hope you guys like these. Again, if you need a catalog, just be sure to send me your full mailing address. I need your zip code, first, last name, and everything to rachthestamper@gmail.com. If you want to get any of these supplies and more, you can go to my online store 24/7 in your jammies, while you're drinking wine, while you're drinking coffee, while you're drinking water, whatever you want to do. 24/7, rachthestamper.stampinup.net. And be sure, if you have a moment, I would love for you to follow me on Facebook, follow me on YouTube, Instagram, and Pinterest. You can find me at all those at Rachthestamper, and I really would appreciate if you give me a like. Thanks guys for watching. Hope you have a great day.